Welcome back, everybody, to the CHG podcast.
RJ just did a weird delay. He does a clap.
It was much louder than I was expecting it to be, and so it caught me off guard. It was it was very loud. You know, honestly, I don't even need to do the clap anymore because running through OBS, I really don't have to, but it's just out of habit, I guess.
Anyway, hey guys.
Hello. So it's been a couple weeks since we have since you've seen us last, and
I have a job now, so it's kind of fucking.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to balance his life, so he's making me have to record on the weekend. Also, actually, you know what? I'll tell you this after the podcast. You people don't need to know.
Cool.
Anyways, so in the last 2 weeks, a lot of shit has happened between Microsoft and Sony with this FTC hearing.
So I've heard.
We're gonna go over a lot of the revelations that have come through. I've been keeping track on it. David hasn't, so I'm basically going to give him the rundown, and then he'll give us his
live reaction,
his thoughts and takeaways right away. So without any time to really brew over it,
a live delayed reaction.
Yeah, but first, as we always
do,
what
we're known for here.
Yes,
getting
absolutely.
the things way too fucking late.
Hey man, it works for me because I play games 2 years late, so it's on brand. But before that, we'll go over what we're playing. It's been a couple weeks. I'll do quick because a lot of the shit I don't remember. So I played a lot of indie games. I got through some indie games that I had on my PS4 that I had bought some time ago, and so I played like 3 of them. Got them through. They're shorter games. Got the platinums. They're interesting. They're all varied. It's interesting to see, the level of quality with indie, because now there's a big disparity. You might have some legit indies, and you have some that are a little bit more. They had like a little bit more of a budget, and it's interesting to see what they kind of do with it. Like one of them was a puzzle game, the other one was like a cyberpunk third-person shooter game, and it's interesting to see when they don't have the funds to hone down on their fundamentals or expand past it, and all they have is this very basic type of gameplay. It's really funny when you play games like that. But anyways, so I did for the names of them, it was Shady Pardon Me, Foreclosed. There was another one I can't remember, but they were interesting games. Anyways, after that, I just got done wrapping up the first DLC expansion for Wolong Found the Dynasty, off camera. I did the main campaign on live last week, and I'm not the only one. The drop-off, the player drop-off on this game has been pretty bad, especially compared to Neo 1 and 2. And it looks like David is leaving for some reason. I'll talk to you guys, just you and me one-on-one. So the player drop-off for Wolong has been really bad, even on PlayStation, that's where the biggest player base is. And this first DLC hasn't left us very optimistic going forward, especially myself. What?
I mean, we were talking about it when it first came out. Even though we both enjoyed it, on the Xbox, for all you non-Xbox players, they do this thing with their achievements where if under 10% of the people who have played the game has gotten the achievement, then you get this diamond achievement. It's you're one of the first 10% of the player base to reach this achievement. I was getting it for just the story mission achievements halfway through the game, or less than halfway through the game.
Yeah,
within the I think the fourth or fifth chapter. So yeah, on Xbox it dropped.
It's because unfortunately, the mechanic, the morale mechanic is cool, but it also puts too many players at a crux, because it almost, and this is from someone who's now played up to the 3rd difficulty, because they added a 3rd difficulty with the new DLC. I haven't beaten it, and I'm not really going to right now. I'm going to let it go, because the morale system is now working against you, and not in a good, fun way. Because even though it is gear-based, it's like Neo 1 and 2 were, and even though, you want to increase your level and your, proficiency with the different 5 elements, all that stuff, which is fine and great, because the morale system so strongly affects how much damage you do and take. Oh, there goes David again. How much damage you both take and receive, it almost basically makes your equipment negligible and your level negligible. And I know that because I can be severely underleveled in a lot of the missions, but since I'm good at the deflecting, which is obviously if you're not good deflecting, good luck. I'm good at deflecting, and I use a spell that does really good spirit damage to the enemies to break their guard and do that fatal attack or their critical blow or whatever. I can go through an entire level and beat the boss too, because because my morale will be at least a high enough level to handle everything, because it scales your damage output. But the problem is that with like as you go along difficulties, what they do is they raise the morale for all the enemies sooner, like higher at a sooner part of the level, and so it's too arbitrary. It's not fun in the sense of like Neo 1 and 2. Yeah, everything's higher, but you're constantly getting better equipment to match it. Very, like, unless you're really fucking yourself over, very few times will you actually, not be able to handle what you're dealing with, as long as you understand the game and mechanics and all that stuff. But in this game, you can have good equipment, you can have the good perks on everything, you can synergize your build just like you do in Neo, but if your morale is too low, it doesn't matter, and you'll still get 1-2-shotted unless you have the bulkiest of armor sets, and that's just not fun. And it also means it's like really, like, so I have to go get these flags. I mean, I don't mind it, but most players don't want to go get the same flags up to 5 times, over and over again, just so that they can stand a chance against basic enemies, and then give that up for the boss. Because what they do with the bosses, they raise their morale to, like, even though the max you can be at is 25, if you found all the flags in a level, the boss's morale will be 30. And so it just instantly puts you at a disadvantage, where, like, it should make it to where, like, I watched a video on this guy who I followed before watching other builds on Neo, was saying, like, it just makes it not fun. It also makes it where, like, it's almost pointless to go and grind for a good build, an armor build, because when you fight the boss, they're already 5 morale points level higher than you. So your damage, your output damage or damage output seems like crap, and then they hit you twice, and if you don't have a bulky enough set, you're dead. And it really does feel like you're just battering your head against the wall over and over again, because the game doesn't do enough to make you feel empowered to stand a chance. Whereas, like, if you go back to the first boss, or the first difficulty, fight that same boss, if you found all the flags, you were 5 morale levels higher than the boss.
Yeah, I thought that was the case.
So you were at a much better, I mean, of course your morale can go down if he hits you with a fatal attack or whatever, but you feel way more at an even level, because it's still the boss. It's still going to have all these tricks and stuff to beat you down, but, like, because your output is a bit higher, it's a level playing field. But the level difficulty is going higher up. It's that's how it's trying to handle difficulty, and it's just terrible because it shows the flaw in the morale system. So unless they give a patch out to where you get more morale from the flags, it's like it's going to feel pointless. And so that's why
I would say, like, so so you said there's 3 difficulties levels, right?
Yeah, now there's 3.
So on the second one, was it just that you had the same morale starting?
No, you start back from 0 every time. So you're going through it basically fresh again.
No, what I mean is when you face the boss, did you have the same? Because, like,
no,
on normal difficulty level, you had 5 more.
You had 5 less.
You're saying
even then you had 5 less. Yeah, it started from the second difficulty, but I think it's either the same or maybe it's even higher. It's just you feel even worse off to just.
It would make sense if it was like, normal difficulty level, when you face the boss at max morale, you have 5 more. The middle, you have the same, and then if you really want a hard experience, which the third difficulty would be.
No, because I remember I did the second difficulty, because they gave you 2 when the game launched. You had 2 to play with, and so I went straight to the second one, and your morale was lower on the bosses, even if you found them all. I can double check again. Maybe you were at the same, but either way though, it's just like it eventually will become just more of but it's at the point though, the thing is it's just arbitrary. Like, it's not, it doesn't it also doesn't make you feel like what you've been grinding to get a good set for has been worth it, because you're doing so little damage. I also heard apparently because of that, because melee basically sucks, the guy made a joke saying, like, this game's basically Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy, because it's all about the spells. If you have a build that can get the good spells going and you fighting an enemy that's weak against those spells, that's how you win the game. And I'm like, I mean, okay, but, like, why give me a melee weapon then? I don't know. It's just the balancing is completely wrong in this game. It's not as polished, and I didn't know it was gonna be this egregious until I started playing the third difficulty. Yeah, it's a bummer because
Gotcha.
I mean they can do a lot of tweaking, they can do a lot of patchwork with this and change some things up and make it more fair, but right now it's just not fun for me, and it just makes me want to go play Neo instead. So it is what it is. Anyways, but I finished that.
Or that
up,
Pinocchio one that's coming out.
I played the demo of Liza P, and I played it with another guy, King, Lionel Flox, who I'm friends with. He didn't finish it, but I ended up finishing it. But hot damn, that shit was hard. Granted, I haven't played Bloodborne before, and this is heavily inspired on Bloodborne. And I watched another dude play it. He goes by Iron Pineapple. He plays a lot of Souls games.
I've seen some of his.
Yeah, I watched this video where he covered it. He just released it a few days ago, and he was smoking through that shit. And because I mean, I realized this too, but I didn't want it to be this way. It's all about the parry in this game, and
seems like that's
I've never been good
thing.
at parrying, even in the Dark Souls, Demon Souls. I know you could and do that riposte. How do you say it? Riposte. I just don't fucking do it, and it's just too tricky for me. But it seems to be if you can nail the parry down, you win. But it's too tight. It's too tight of a fucking like window, and also it's like I just wanted to dodge, like a normal Souls game, right? I just wanted to fucking dodge roll everywhere. But the dodge is so broken in a bad way in this game. Like it don't work. It doesn't work. And there's like barely any iframes you get from the dodge. And so my only thing was just like fix the dodge. Everything else is cool. If I just felt like the dodge was just better, give me some more iframes, make the dodge actually seem like a viable strategy. Like this game's fucking phenomenal. And they are, because they actually released a note to the community saying, hey, we've been seeing the feedback, we've been listening to you guys and reading everything, and we will put out, we will fix the dodging. I was like, okay, cool. That's the only complaint I had. That was the only complaint I had. Everything else was fine. Even though the boss was hard as shit, I eventually got him. Or the final boss was hard as shit. I eventually got him, and I was like, you know what? Cool. If you fix the dodging and don't force me into parrying all the fucking time, we're good. We're good. Because these Souls games, they're mainly, one of the things I think I understand is that, like, the cool things about them was that how flexible they were, how you could play the game. It was never about forcing you to do one particular thing, unless you're Sekiro. But, like, otherwise, you're kind of free to do what you want. There's multiple ways to take care of a target. But this game, after watching that guy play and comparing it to how bad I did, how long it took me to fucking finish it, I was like, damn. You really do have to parry, but I don't want to parry. So I'm hoping I'm definitely gonna play it. I may not play it day one, like absolutely the first day, but I'm definitely gonna get it because I mean that atmosphere is too dope to ignore. I love the dark fantasy vibe on Pinocchio, and I would love to see like other like if maybe Winnie the Pooh is now free now. Maybe get a Winnie the Pooh game or something. That'd be cool. But yeah. And then I'm playing the stupid Monster Energy Supercross 4. It fucking sucks, but I had to finish it, so whatever, moving on. David, what have you been playing?
So I played, since the last we talked, I played a little bit more Diablo, but really I've kind of haven't had the energy or time to get into that. So instead, I've been playing Need for Speed Unbound.
Hey, Need for Speed Unbound, okay.
Yeah, pretty good. I like it. I will say Now, I haven't put in a lot of money into the like gadgets or like the increasing your damage threshold
I don't know what you're talking about.
So basically, you upgrade your car like with normal shit, okay. And then to help out with the police chases, you can upgrade and get things like better like armor, or you do more damage when you hit them and stuff like that. So I haven't put in a lot of money to that because this game asks you to have a lot of fucking money. Like, so the first like it's developed into like 4 races.
Okay.
Like, and you have a week to get the money you need to, and not only like get the money, the buy-in you need, but also get your car to the level it needs to be at. And you have a day and a night every day to get it. So the first buy-in is 20K. Not that bad. And then it goes up to 50K for your second race, and then 100K for your third race. Now, you unlock races that give more and more payouts. But the thing about this that I don't remember from other Need for Speed games is that I found myself having to be okay with finishing like second or third on some races, just because my car just wasn't like, it was an A rank, but like it wasn't top tier A rank. So I could, and you can only, they give you 4 restarts for the entire day. So you can only restart 4 times. So you really got to spread your restarts out. And after every race, you gain at least, regardless on whether on that race you ran into cops or not, you get at least 0.5 heat. And it goes up to 5 heat. The first 2 levels of heat, not that bad, because most of the time you can outrun them. They're just normal cop cars and SUV cop cars. But they're too slow to catch up with most cars that you have. The third heat, you get Corvettes chasing you, which you can never outrun no matter. I had one car, I was going 100, I was going 210, and the Corvette was still outpacing me. So I don't think it's programmed to be a certain speed. I think the Corvettes are just programmed to keep up with you. And you have to kind of like hit them, run them off the road. Or sometimes they make bad mistakes. The AI is pretty bad, so you can kind of trick it into just doing stupid shit. But then 4, you get undercover cars, which is annoying when you're not in a pursuit and you're just trying to get from one area to the next without like getting into a cop chase, because normally you can tell on your mini map like, oh, there's a cop up there, or his cone of vision's going this way, right? With the undercover cars, you could just be driving along, all of a sudden just whoop whoop whoop, and they come and get you. It's like, oh fuck. And then 5 is all of the things that you've had before. A SWAT car, which is almost as fast as a Corvette, and like just fucking tanked, and helicopters.
I was gonna say, yeah,
and you throw in the tire spikes are easy to avoid in this game. Like, they show it to you on the map, and you can clearly tell where the spikes are. Like, and they always don't block off the entire road. So as long as you're paying attention, you can get it pretty easy. But here's the next kicker. So you have all that. Like, let's say like you've done like 3 races, and 2 of them are big payouts, but that also comes with at least 1 heat after the race. Because I don't know if I finished my thought. You always get heat regardless of whether you got into a chase or not.
You said that.
So if you complete a race, okay. So let's say you've done 3 races. They've all been high because you need money for the fucking buy-in. So you've all been doing high ones. So you'll have easy 3 heat. And a lot of times they'll start you in a cop chase right after the race too, once you get to that higher heat. So you're sitting on 60, 80K, and you get busted. It's all gone, and your night ends. So like, I have lost 3 separate occasions. I've lost 60, 50, and 80K. Just gone. And that day's gone too, so you like lost, not only did you lose all that money, you fucking lost your chance to get money in that day. It's brutal.
This game doesn't sound fun.
I
feel like there's too many things going against you.
It gets annoying, that's for sure. So what I have done, what I've found is I will only, and I saw this on a forum, is that you only do the big risk or the high payout ones, which will get you 1 heat, but you just do 2 a night, because you'll get 2 heat, and then you'll do 1 to get you that 3rd heat. So you do 2 in the day to get you about 40K, and then you can bank that on that day, because every day and night you can bank your money. And then the night you'll start out with 2 heat, and you'll do the real big one, which is always at night, and it always gets you 1 heat, and that's probably for 20 to 30K. And then you win that race, you try, and if you can get away from the cops, cool, go bank your 30K right there. If you can't, then oh well, you wouldn't have had any money anyway. And that served me pretty well. But it is hard. Like I said, the races are pretty hard. I don't know if I can never tell. You're a lot better at this because you play more racing games. I can't tell if it's rubber banding or if it's just like the mechanics they have in play. The mechanics definitely, when you're behind, I think it's mechanics that allow you to catch up because you get this extra boost for drifting and for drafting and drifting and stuff like that. And you can get this extra boost that speeds you up real quick. So if the computer gets that same thing, then it's possible that's why they're catching up to me. But yeah, it's cool. I like it. The customization is cool. The kind of stylistic thing I could do without. I don't know if you've seen it. They did with the style.
I've seen it.
I could do without it. Like if they take away that style thing, the cars look exactly like every other Need for Speed game. It's just that weird like smoke stuff, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah,
I could do without it. Like it doesn't do anything for me.
So what I can say is that I actually watched GameRanks' review on the game, and he said the same thing. He's like, this game is brutal, and like. Now, what I was reading the comments about it because I was like watching. I was like, when the heck was Need for Speed ever this hard? I mean, even Undercover and Pro Street, which are old, but they're not that good. But even those were not as hard as what I'm hearing. I read the comments. It's all about the difficulty. Like, it's just not scaled right. If you play easy mode, you get like 7 retries or something like that, maybe even unlimited. And everything like that. It just seems to be they didn't scale it right because the guy played on normal too, and I'm sure you were as well. And it's just like normal is just crazy.
I think once I got used to it, and I just did put the damage reduction on my cars, or actually I put the damage multiplier, so I do more damage to the cop cars, and so. Now that I have those, I'm not like I have a chance to get out of chases on level 4 and 5. Before that, I had no fucking chance. There was no way. So once you have the damage multiplier, I just burrow into. If I see another cop car that's gonna like join the chase, I just fucking smash the shit.
Get that shit right out of there.
Yeah, and I'm like, nope,
not today.
Boom, and I just kind of race in between. I always race on oncoming traffic, and I weave, and so eventually one of the oncoming cars will take the cop car out. So like once you get used to it, I think it's fine. I wasn't ready for it, either on the racing or the difficulty of the chases.
Yeah, I forgot. I now that you mentioned it back, but hearing these extra details, it's like I'll probably eventually play it one day when I get to it. But like,
and what I wish it would do. So there's only one benefit of having heat, and it's that some races, and it's only sometimes. So it's not even like every time there's a race that if you have like X amount of heat, you get like a chance to win a lot of money. It's not every time. It's only like, I'd probably say like once a week, there's a race that has a heat requirement. But other than that, there is no benefit to having heat. So it doesn't give you a multiplier like in other games where if you like ended the night with 5 heat, then you got like 2 times the money and stuff like that, which they've done in other games. So there is no benefit to having heat at all, which I think if they would change that and gave you like an extra bonus to your money for having high heat, that would incentivize you trying. But right now there's only negatives for for you trying for that extra race, that one more race. Because like, yeah, I could try and get an extra like most of the time is like for the non-big races like 10K at most, 10, 12K. Or I could lose $80,000, and I'm just like, that just doesn't. It's not even worth it.
Yeah, the lost part is gonna drive me to no end of hatred and anger. I mean, I already hate the police sections of any racing game. I don't care what people say. I don't know why you enjoy it, especially now with this game where you could absolutely lose. Like when there's no real good risk reward system involved, it's just like, why do you people want cops? So you don't want cops in real life. Why would you want fucking cops in the game? They do nothing but impede your progress. All they do is annoy the shit out of you. You just want to race, be the best street king there is, or whatever the fuck, and then it's like, woo! It's like now I can't even go to the next race. Now I got to outright these cops, and they got vets, and they got Lambos and shit. Now I got SWAT cars. It's just like, get out of here with that noise. I don't know how there still hasn't been an option in any racing game that has cops to just have no cops, just fucking no cops, or like bare minimum cops for people like me who don't want to deal with that shit because it's annoying as fuck. Sorry, I hate cops.
And again, and I know that I normally am quick in this, and I've been almost as long as RJ's. But one more thing, this goes to my love of fucking Rivals, and I know that's one of the most like.
Whoa, you like Rivals?
Dude, I fucking love Rivals.
You love Rivals.
Love Rivals.
Okay,
I think
that's the next one I'm gonna have to play. So I'm curious.
We talked about this before, so I don't even remember. Like So, like, the one thing that Rivals is dogged on is the upgrade system. They use cards instead of real upgrades.
That was Payback, bro. That was Payback.
Oh, what's it, Payback?
Yeah. Okay, I was confused.
My bad. Sorry.
I was like, what?
My love for Payback.
Yes, I remember. Okay, I remember you like Payback. That's what it was.
Yes, my love for Payback.
Yes.
I love Payback.
Yes, and you didn't mind the card system or any of that. Yes,
once you get over that, like, it's kind of like, oh, this is weird. It actually, if in game mechanics, it's I think more fun than just like, oh, now I have the pro exhaust, because you can like combine cards for the upgrades and shit. And I think it's awesome. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is your problem with the cops. You have a specific car for getting rid of cops. So, like, you build a car specifically to take out cops.
I mean, that's cool.
And it's
awesome. But I don't want them at all. But anyway,
it makes it a race. It doesn't make it like, oh, man, this is annoying. It's like, oh, sweet, now I can use my fucking, Ford Raptor that I have with, like, fucking, like, plates on it and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was cool. Anyway, let's get to fucking Microsoft and Activision.
Before we jump head deep into the revelations that have come from that trial, which I didn't even know it was a trial. I thought it was like some hearings, or I didn't realize it was a fucking FTC. I know FTC was involved. I didn't know it was a trial where they're making a court decision. And I was totally lost on that. But anyways, amidst all of that, we're gonna stay a little funny here. Amidst all of that, somebody has decided to go on change.org and put a petition out for getting Starfield on PS5.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Have you read it? Have you heard anyone read it out to you, like the full fucking thing?
I just saw that people, like, the headline was, people try to get
it's
Starfield.
The funniest thing. It's just this one dude. It has a bunch of petitions, but apparently you can read people's like reasons why they joined or whatever. It's really just they're just basically just laughing. They're laughing at this guy. They just want to see what the fuck happened because it's so dumb and stupid. So most people who are signing onto this don't actually share this dude's sentiment. But I'm gonna read to you the whole thing because it is a work of art. This is from Benjamin Dickey. What a name. For over a decade, Bethesda games have been released on PlayStation. True. They perform better on PlayStation, run better, and sell better. False.
False. Categorically.
We are 2 sentences in, and already categorically false. If any of you have seen any past podcasts, and we've talked about Fallout 3 or New Vegas, and you remember me talking about Fallout 3 or New Vegas, you will know that they don't run on PlayStation 3.
Is this guy 12?
So I was like, either this dude never played those games. He's probably someone that only played Skyrim and Fallout 4, and that's it. He probably never played 3 or New Vegas and knew about the save file issue that Bethesda could not figure out with the PlayStation's cell infrastructure.
Yeah, fuck it.
So they were like, well, okay, I guess the save file is going to get bigger and bigger, but when it does, the game stops running. So
better beat it fast, motherfuckers.
Or don't ever save.
Which, as we know, is essential in Bethesda games.
Yes, which quick saving is like almost goes hand in hand with Bethesda games. So
that was the Dark Souls before Dark Souls. It was like, you could save, or you could lose all your game files.
So so we're 2 sentences in, already work of art here. Xbox and especially, not especially, Phil Spencer have no business, all caps, taking them away. All right. First,
you took my toy away.
Next paragraph. First, Xbox exclusivity would not only hurt PlayStation, but also the player base. I mean, I'm fine.
I mean, that's
I'm not hurt.
But I mean,
but okay.
Technically, that's factual.
I mean,
I don't think anyone is arguing for the.
It would hurt the player base.
There.
It would hurt the overall player base of like old gamers, but not PlayStation. But okay, when a major game like Starfield is only available on Xbox, it limits the player count of the game and stifles the amount of players PlayStation has. I mean, it does limit player count. That's true. I mean, that's just math. But stifles the amount of players PlayStation has. That's not even English. What the fuck is that? What is he? He's trying to say like it stifles the amount of like I think like games PlayStation people have to play or something like that. But
yeah, it sounds more like so far that he's like a hidden PlayStation employee and
something.
He's just mad.
But okay, this means that now Microsoft can charge higher prices because they don't have competition and take away players from Sony. We cannot, all caps, allow this. Okay, I don't know how he thinks that one exclusive game raises prices on things, but okay.
This just in Starfield's $200.
Also, Starfield's exclusivity, all games are $70-$80 now. But okay.
Well, and also, just like fucking, who do you think sets the prices for the like?
Yeah, Xbox doesn't have that much clout. There's a bigger economy that dictates things. By the way,
yeah,
I mean, they're big, but they're not.
Microsoft.
They're not setting it.
Bethesda's the one that sets the price. Now, yes, Bethesda is owned by Microsoft, but like, that's not how fucking the industry works.
But
bro.
also, yeah, but like they can't because like also it's like they wouldn't lower it because that would be a loss, and it's already a loss. But like, anyways, we're not gonna.
Yeah,
as you're gonna realize, a lot of this is not grounded in a lot of facts, so let's not try to pick apart and get some 5D chess moves going on with what he thought he was thinking. Anyways, moving on, next paragraph. Second, he has like these are points laid out, organized. All right, this is a paper.
Thought about
this is a paper. Okay, he turned this into a professor. Okay. Second, Xbox and its 12 dedicated players, sick burn, do not all caps deserve Starfield or any exclusivity. Sick burn. You don't deserve shit, David. Not only are they arrogant and annoying, you asshole.
I am pretty arrogant and annoying.
You used to be real bad, especially when you were GameStop store manager. You had a little chip on your shoulder.
Oh hell yeah!
You people don't remember that. You don't know that, but I know that. Not only
I still do,
but more so. But anyway, or arrogant and annoying. But since the showcase, they have been irritating. Ooh. They keep sharing Starfield news telling us, get an Xbox, like if they didn't complain about Spider-Man or Ghost of Tsushima or any of the PS titles themselves. All right, let's just move forward. Next point. Third, exclusivity is not good for Starfield itself. The matter is simple. Oh, let's see how simple it is.
He has a closing argument.
If it releases... No, we're not done. If it releases on Xbox, it's a bad game. Just full stop. It's a bad game.
Bad game. Fuck you, Halo.
If it's on Xbox hardware, it's a bad game. Just a total bad game. If you release this game on Xbox, bad game. Just instantly. It magically, it's a bad game. Go look at Redfall or Halo Infinite as examples. That's not a matter of the hardware. There's a matter of the development process and the lack of communication between teams.
And Halo Infinite was actually fucking good.
Okay, if you're looking at it, if it was just in a vacuum, it's fine. But obviously you can't because it's Halo. Compared to... It didn't do as well as it should have. I'll say that for sure.
I will say that.
It did not do anywhere near as good. And I think the multiplayer was pretty jacked up too when it launched. Or maybe did it even launch with multiplayer? It doesn't matter. Anyways, it didn't do as well as it should have. If it releases on PlayStation, there is a 90% chance, citation needed, that it is a good game. Full stop. 90%. So you have a 90% chance, Devs. You hear that, Devs? 90% chance. If you put that shit on PlayStation, good game. Put that on Xbox, 0% chance, good game. The facts.
Nothing to do with the studios.
These are facts.
Just the hardware.
I mean, come on. 90% chance. I don't know where you got that from, but facts. Come on. There's no other way around it. None. Full stop. There's no other way around it. Anyone who says otherwise is deceiving you and is the reason the gaming industry has such low standards today.
You fucking liars.
That's the reason why we have low standards. Not, possibly the kids who have no idea what good games are, and then they're making that sentiment popular and accepted, and then that just makes devs think that they can get away with it. Okay, yeah, it's not any of that. Okay, that's fine. Moving on. Unless you want to see Starfield fail, You need, full caps, all caps, to have it on PlayStation. The 30 FPS lock is just the tip of the iceberg. We're not even going to talk about the FPS situation.
Which would not change even if it was multi-plat. Let's just put that out there.
Switch the roles here. If PlayStation had it as an exclusive, David, do you honestly believe they would allow it to run so poorly on the console? No! Exclamation mark.
Has he, again, never played a Bethesda game?
They would shame Todd Howard into properly optimizing it. I mean, they knew about the PlayStation 3 situation with 3 in New Vegas. they knew about it with 3, and then they didn't fix it with New Vegas.
Before they launched the fucking game, and they were like, "We'll figure it out," and then they never.
Was Oblivion ever on PlayStation? Was that an Xbox game?
No, it was exclusive.
Okay.
Pretty sure. No, wait.
Because Fallout, I know Morrowind was, but was Oblivion?
CHG, I'll do a CSG.
The CSG labs. Go and do some research on the CSG labs.
Yeah.
But wait, hold on. Which game came first, Oblivion or 3?
Morrowind came first.
No. Between Fallout 3 and Oblivion, which came first?
I think Oblivion.
Because Fallout 3 was 2008. New Vegas was 2010. I don't remember when Oblivion came out.
Yep, no, it was on PlayStation 3.
Okay, what year does it say it came out?
06.
Okay, so it predates it. All right, so I have no idea how it performed on PlayStation 3. But anyways, it doesn't take away the fact that 3 and they didn't fix it with New Vegas. It's the same issue. I played both of those games, and I dealt with the save file on both of those games. It was hell. Anyways, okay. They would shame him. It's not only software related, but hardware as well. While it could run at 60 FPS on Series X, Microsoft has to allow it to run that poorly thanks to its inferior Series S, which they must keep support for, as the small Xbox player base is known to have very little money for gaming. So now you're being poor shamed, David. First of all, you got poor shamed.
Fuck me.
You're annoying, arrogant, irritating, and you're poor as shit. Now I have heard more things about the fact that because Microsoft Series S is technically not as powerful as the X, it does hold some things back. Not only besides, we already talked about the base model Xbox that they were still supporting that fuck thing shit. Well, we believe held a lot of games back on Xbox's end, but you could even argue the same thing. You could argue the same thing that if it was just X and S, it would still be. But I don't think it would be as bad. It would be nowhere near as bad as it is now. I mean, yeah, it is inferior, but like to the point that this guy's making, I don't think so. But
I think, and we talked about in the past that like I honestly think that 60 frames to 30 frames per second thing is just a fucking dog whistle. Like it doesn't.
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of 60 framers out there.
Dude, we got the 60 framers, the 120 framers, like
okay. In my opinion, and say I'm wrong if I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong, I'm cool with that. But as a console gamer who plays on a big screen TV, and I know I shouldn't because whatever, but I do fucking play on a big screen. I fucking can't tell a difference.
I think I could if I saw it, but it wouldn't be enough to make me cry about it. Like the people who say,
it's ruining my gaming experience.
If you don't do PC gaming, all you do is console gaming, and you're kind of telling me that you can't play games at 60. It's like, can you check your privilege at the door, please? Come on, guys, like get out of here. Anyways,
bro, we played on fucking analog, okay? Like
yeah, bro, like we had to do with mono audio at one point. So get out of here.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, mono.
Anyways, fourth,
fucking screw into the back of the TV.
We got point number 4. Fourth, I keep getting told they care about quality now. Phil Spencer forced them to delay for quality. I have news for you. Oh, he has news for you. Phil, this is a good sick burn. Phil Dispenser, like a dispenser, sick burn, is a pushover. All caps. The guy is in charge of Xbox, but doesn't care enough to check games before they release. Oh, what? You're going to tell me he checked Redfall and still chose to release it that way? I mean, it's such a bigger pot. It's such a bigger issue than what, the press put it out to be, or like YouTubers talked about it. It's such a more intricate situation. I mean, you took a dev that wasn't exclusive, making exclusive stuff, and then force him to happen to now just make everything exclusive and deal with one team. Like, there was so much more backstage stuff that happened that unfortunately affected the development. Where it's like there's a much bigger story to tell. It's not as simple as anyone, not just this guy, anyone wants to make it out to be. Unfortunately, because no one's mad at Arcane for the sense of like they think it's the death of Arcane. Everyone still believes in Arcane. No one thinks that they're a shitty dev now just because they put out this bad apple. Because it's like they have such a litany of stellar titles in their portfolio. It's just a lot more backstage stuff that had happened, and with the shift going from multi-platform to now you have one team to deal with, and they have their own set of demands and all this and that. Because before, all they had to do was just speak to Bethesda. They had to answer just to Bethesda, but now they have to answer to Xbox. And they might have had a whole different set of expectations or wants and needs that Bethesda would have wanted. So it's there's so much more to the story. Anyways, do you have anything to say out of that?
I'm just thinking, like, I love this guy's going on and on about PlayStation 5, and then the fucking PC gods are just like, but it is on PC, brother.
Yes.
It will be better than anything the PlayStation 5 could
ever do.
Join us in the master race.
Better yet, he has owned Obsidian and Bethesda for years now. I mean, it's been like 2.
And he does not own them.
What? I mean, he doesn't like own them. I get what he's saying, but
he's in charge of them.
Yes. Microsoft owns the studios, but
yes.
And even then, it's only been like 2 years, and they put out no games between the two of them.
And here's the thing, but that Starfield, I believe, was in development.
Well before. It was well before.
Yeah,
it was. Anyways, like remember, no 5D chess moves here. We don't need 5D chess.
I'm sorry.
Okay. You own them for years now, and despite the overwhelming all caps, for a New Vegas sequel, although you are David,
let's do it.
A sequel or remake, he refuses to do it.
Okay, never mind. Fuck it. I'm on this guy's team. He's right. He's right about everything.
See, you guys have something in common. You both want the New Vegas sequel.
He made one good point, and now he's right about everything.
And it was a good point, too. It was the thing that speaks to you the most, David. He spoke right to your heart. Right to your heart.
Yeah, fuck Starfield. Burn that shit to the ground. Give me a fucking New Vegas remake.
Burn that shit to the ground. All that money. Wait, I don't care.
The project.
All of it.
Cancel
gone. You should go petition like the day before it comes out with like picket signs saying New Vegas sequel. Anyway,
send all the copies back.
Okay, he probably went up to Todd trembling like a chihuahua, quietly asking, "Please, Mr. Howard, may we use the Fallout IP with another studio?" And ran with his tail between his legs when he told him no. Okay, first of all, you think Phil is above Todd? I don't care what are you talking about? If anything, it's Phil and Microsoft's decision to greenlight that now.
Phil could go up to Todd and be like, "Hey, you know that shitty fucking engine you've been using forever? Yeah, we're gonna let fucking Playground use it because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah, we're gonna let Playground make a New Vegas sequel for you guys since you guys are too dumb to make it. So." Cool. Anyways, that was such a back-assward way of just like as if that's really how the dynamics were between the two studios now. Anywho, he has no spine, all caps. Switch the roles here yet again. If PlayStation had bought both of those companies, wait, which 2 companies is he talking about? Where's the second company? Oh, Obsidian. But wait, Bethesda. Oh, Obsidian was a separate studio. Yes, you're right. Obsidian is separate. Okay. Bought both companies. New Vegas would have been the first thing they did. Yes, the very first thing, because it took them how long to do a remake of Medieval? It took them how long to agree with Activision to do a Spyro trilogy remake or Spyro or Crash remake? Okay, yeah. Okay. How long has it been since we've had Jak 4? I'm waiting. How long has it been since we've had a MotorStorm sequel?
I love that this guy is just like, yeah, the fucking Obsidian, that's what they want to make. They want to make a remake of a game they've already made.
Yeah. All right.
They're not fucking artistic at all, and they don't want to make new shit.
Oh, I love his little stinger at the end of that, too. First thing that they did, that one hurts, doesn't it? Just dig it in there. For all these reasons, it is important for Bethesda games to remain available on PlayStation. Not only that, but to ensure the high quality of the games, any and all caps, Future Bethesda titles should be only PlayStation exclusives. So apparently, he's mad that it's not on PlayStation. Thinks that it's shit on Xbox, but now he just wants the roles to be switched. So obviously now he's just mad that he doesn't get
basically this is a kid who found out that Starfield was only going to be on Xbox. Went to his mom and asked his mom
to get him an Xbox Series X. She said
to buy him and she's like, no, you have an Xbox at home,
or you have a PlayStation 5 that I bought you. That's $1,000. Play that.
And then he threw a fit.
And he was like, well, can I get a computer? A computer costs $2,000, Timmy. That's 4 times the price of the PlayStation 5 that I just got you. Anyways, there's 2 more paragraphs. I'm going to try to fly through them. This would ultimately be good for everyone, and not just Sony, as they have a history of investing heavily in first-party studios. True. And it could use its financial resources to make Bethesda games even better while forcing them to actually be good. When were they not good? Additionally, Sony has a strong track record of marketing and promoting its games, because Xbox does, which could help Bethesda games reach a wider audience and grow the PlayStation player count, because the audience isn't already wide enough. What the fuck?
Yeah, because there's so many fucking people that don't know who Bethesda is.
Because no one knows what Skyrim is. Okay.
I never heard of fucking Fallout.
I've never heard of Skyrim.
I've been lying this entire time.
What's Wolfenstein? What is Wolfenstein? What?
I have no idea what the fuck Fallout is.
Anyways, everyone agrees with me. Yeah, the 5 people in his little friend group agree with him.
Agreed.
With me, and if you don't, look at yourself. Look at deep in yourself. Deep in the soul.
I am always looking at myself during these podcasts. So.
Oh, yes, true. You are the reason AAA games have such low quality. I don't know how those 2 things all of a sudden related. I'm not saying he's wrong because the quality has gone down, but
not
like
all games are on PlayStation only. If all games were on PlayStation only, if Rogue Warrior was exclusive on the PlayStation, RJ, it would be a Call of Duty killer. Except if Call of Duty was only on the PlayStation, then they'd be like, they would hit each other, and there's like, an immovable object and an unstoppable object, and then boom, the world would be destroyed.
I can't imagine that. I don't want an alternate universe where Rogue Warrior is a PlayStation exclusive. Having to see that.
It would be the best game of all time.
Okay.
According to this guy.
I was going to say, though, more appropriately, it's like, okay, yes, you're telling me Knack 1 and 2 were good PlayStation exclusives? Okay. Despite all the marketing, they were bad. They weren't good.
They weren't good.
You line that up against the entire pantheon of PlayStation exclusives, past and present, you're going to tell me Knack holds up candle to any of them? No. Anyways.
Better than Crash.
Crash 4. I'll agree with. Oh, Crash 4, yes. Okay. You're the reason is low quality because you worship a company who doesn't care about quality of content they publish. That was an interesting way of wording that. Last paragraph. Signing this petition is just the start. Now he's getting preachy.
Fucking revolution.
We need to go out and protest at GameStop. See, there's a pick a sign again, and Walmart's on Starfield's release date because we want New Vegas sequel. That's what we.
Dude, I need this dude. The fucking. Where's his Instagram?
We need to submit. No, here we go. We're getting real. We need. This is how you know this is a joke. It has to be a joke. We need to submit legislation to our local representative to force Microsoft to comply. So you go talk to your representative, your Texas representative. I'll talk to my Washington one. I'll talk to Jay Inslee himself. Like, Jay, I know you're busy. I know you're busy with whatever the fuck you're worried about, but shut all that shit down. Microsoft Starfield needs to be on PlayStation. Get it going. Go to Congress. Get it going.
Hey, Greg, I know that you're busy taking away the rights of women all across Texas, but have you considered that Starfield is fucking exclusive to Xbox? Fucking A, man.
Bro, I know. Come on. I know you're a PlayStation guy. We can't stand for this.
I mean, I heard that Xbox has lesbians working in their company. You should shut them down in Texas. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, hey, I mean... Anyways, We need to go out en masse and stop people from buying copies at launch date. Just stop them. Just get out there and stop them. Straight up, stop them.
Chain yourself to the door of a GameStop.
Just do it. Sorry. Okay. Even better, go online and report every video you see praising Starfield until we make it exclusive for us and only us. So only me, David. You don't get to have it.
Yeah,
YouTubers, like a lot of different YouTubers here, but he gives them like shit. He tweaks the names. To diss them, like, so he says like, and you probably don't know some of them, but like Mr. Matty Plays Bad Games, Review Fat USA, which I actually know that one. He goes by Review Tech USA, but he is a fat guy, so he's a big dude, so they call him Review Fat
and now
USA.
he's fat shaming.
And Lemon Juice for Tanga Complains and the Young Turds need to all be canceled immediately. All of them gone. If you're a true gamer, you will support this and sign. I don't need trolls coming here to complain that we actually care about gaming, and I don't care how many of you come to insult me. Cry, cope, seethe, and mauled Xbots. But my points are valid and true. All caps.
I kind of want this to be real.
It's not. Obviously, I know we took the shit out of it for like 30 minutes. We both know it's probably... I mean, it's funny how he says he doesn't want trolls when he's literally trolling... He's trolling himself. But
I want this to be real.
It was too funny to not talk about. And I heard, actually, speaking of review tech, that's where I first heard this from him. He covered it, and this is the fun. As soon as he said that Xbox, that Bethesda games run better on PlayStation, I gave up immediately. 2 sentences in, and I gave up. 2 sentences in, and I knew this guy was full of shit. Because I was like, he has never played 3 or New Vegas, because those games are not, they're good games until the save file fucks you over. Up until the save file, you're good. You're having a great time. But when that save file hits over 10 megabytes, you're done, son. You're done. Anyways, I wanted to tell you, I knew you would give a big old laugh out of it. It's fucking hilarious. And that's just the beginning of all this Xbox, Starfield, Sony trouble. So I don't have the full notes for everything. There's been so much that has been talked about during this FTC trial between Sony and Xbox over basically the Activision acquisition. So we've had Sony reps like Jim Ryan, the boss of PlayStation, at least the North American boss. He's spoken several times. We've had both Phil Spencer at Microsoft and the CEO, Satya Nadella, I think his name is. They both have had to speak at the FTC trial, and then also Bobby Kotick from Activision has also spoken. And now the thing that's significant about this, because since they're talking to the government, the U.S. government, they have to reveal things that they normally would never have to reveal under normal circumstances. So we've been hearing things about like that's been said in shared emails. Like we've retrieved emails about documents, what people said like behind the scenes about how they really felt about, like for instance, Starfield or Activision or whatever have you. We've had a few comments made about Game Pass. So a lot of stuff has been covered here. Now I only took like 7 or 8 that I thought would be something we should talk about. At least go kind of a little bit in depth here. Some of the things were not as big as others, but I just thought were kind of interesting. But so the first thing I have here is that during the trial, Xbox, Phil already alluded to this during that interview he had with Kind of Funny Games on their podcast, but they did confirm that, at least as far as Xbox is concerned, that they have lost the console war. And they cited that with saying that they have currently 16% of the market share. And I'm assuming they're talking between I don't know if that's split between just the 3 consoles or they're including maybe PC and these other miscellaneous guys. But they have 16% of the share, and that's, I guess, seems to be far below at least Sony, probably also Nintendo. And they felt that, and actually in extra detail, they said that, so when they came out the gate with the original Xbox back in 2001, they were already behind because Sony, I think, dropped their PlayStation 2 in 2000. And they never caught up, right? Because PlayStation 2 was just revolutionary. It was stupid how impressive the PS2 was. Because also it had a lineage. Xbox was brand new, had to create itself, establish itself. So it lost that race. And they actually say that they have been in the losing position ever since. And that includes the 360 era, where they were dominating for a long time. Now, I know Sony came back in like the last 3 years of that generation's life cycle, but they still say that they have been in the losing position ever since. It's probably because they're including the global market share, not just the U.S. market share.
Yeah. So
PlayStation
according to Statista, Sony has a worldwide market share of 87.79.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Jeez. So I guess he's comparing it that where the hell's Nintendo come into place then? Because if they have 87, Microsoft has 16. Where's Nintendo? And Nintendo has to be higher than Xbox. So how's that even possible?
Also operating share world. I don't know. I'm looking at weird things here because all right.
We probably shouldn't be looking at stuff on the fly. Okay, so yeah. How about we shut down the CHG labs for the rest of the podcast? Either way, they feel that they say that according to them, they have lost it. They have always been in the losing position because if you got to think about the global market share, Sony has always had a bigger presence over in Japan, in a lot of Europe, especially Western Europe. Like in Africa as well, like the northern African countries, I think also South Africa. It just has I don't know why it resonates better in like Europe and Africa, but like it just does. Microsoft has always been strongest in North America, and that's really it. Like especially with Japan, when Xbox One will come out, it'll sell maybe a couple 100,000 copies across the entire fucking nation, and that's not a lot. And so that makes sense, but it was just, to hear them have to, I don't know why they admitted it. I don't know what, I guess it was to make their claim of why them having Starfield is okay, because like it doesn't push the needle. It doesn't push the needle that far in their direction that they have, even with Activision. Like it's still gonna make their share not significantly better, and it'll still be a competitive market. So that was the first big thing. The next one, which is kind of smaller but just interesting to hear. So Xbox said, I think it was Xbox that said it. Next gen won't be till 2028, which I mean I was happy to hear. Like good. That's about a good 8 years, which is about average from what we've used to. We have like 8 to 10 years cycle. I think
something I heard Gamer Ranks say is that they reported on was that the Xbox Series X is essentially Xbox's mid-generation refresh. That there was reports coming out that if it was a normal cycle, if they had released it normally, that the S would have been the launch console, and that the X would have been the mid-series refresh to carry them to the next generation. What they did was they just did it all at the same time and said fuck.
Then I wonder then if the S initial was going to have a disk drive.
Maybe,
so they probably did, and then the
probably
X,
did, yeah.
and they probably then would have released a diskless S version as well.
And then,
so
but they were like,
but the
"Fuck
X
it,
would
why?"
have been the big thing.
Yeah.
Then it makes me wonder what PlayStation would have done, because PlayStation, I think what I've heard is that on the PlayStation, the diskless and the disk drive version, there's no hardware differences. It is literally there's just no optical drive. That's it. Yeah. And so it would make me kind of curious of what PlayStation, if they would have just stuck with that plan, or if they would have. I don't know. But anyways, it creates some questions that don't matter because it just leads to just like, what ifs this, what ifs that. Yeah. But it was nice to know that at least I hope 2028 is the minimum that we'll get new consoles. Because I mean, especially with how hard it was to get one for the first half of the cycle here. I've heard it still can be pretty tough to get a PS5 now, and we have moved on from the pandemic, but the shipping issues, like in the supply chain issues, have still remained. They haven't leveled out, like with the rest of a lot of other society. I mean, it just hasn't. So to know that that's still a problem, almost now, we're 3.5 years. Well, I guess 3 years will be in November, so we're almost 3 years in to the cycle. It's like. Damn! Yeah. By the time 2028 gets here, people will have just gotten their PS5 because the supply chain would have just fixed. Well, you're gonna need one if that petition goes through. Anyways, so that was the next thing. Here's a big one that I was surprised about. Microsoft wanted to buy Bungie, Sega, and Square Enix at some point.
I had heard Bungie, Sega. I'd heard all those. Yeah.
Which I still that was a shocker. to hear that, like, I mean, I'm not saying I was surprised, but it was just like, wow, like I was started thinking like, what ifs, you know, like what would have happened? I mean, I think it would have been fine as far as Sega goes. I think Sega and Xbox having a collaboration would have been great, and I think we would have actually gotten some good Sonic games if that would have been the case. Yeah. I know we had a Frontiers, which has been
Street
fine.
Street Fighter,
and then
Xbox exclusive.
That's Capcom, bro.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You're fine.
Capcom's
fine. Capcom's fine.
Oh, I'm thinking.
And Capcom isn't owned by anybody. It has a strong relationship with Sony, but it's not owned by them.
I was thinking another one.
But yeah, like Bungie would have been interesting because then you have Bungie and 343 Studios under the same hood, you know.
Yeah.
But it's funny because Bungie purposely left Microsoft. No, they were under So they left Microsoft and then were owned by Activision, and then they broke off from Activision. Yeah. So it would have been interesting to have them go back to Xbox, you know. And maybe we would have got the Halo Infinite people actually wanted. But so that would have been interesting, but I don't know how well that would have done. But Square, I think, would have been the most problematic. Just the fact of how many, like, Final Fantasy being an Xbox exclusive would be nuts, bro. Like, that would be absolutely bonkers to have a Final Fantasy game literally be an Xbox only thing when like when it had such a strong relationship with Sony. You know, for so long, or Nintendo too. I guess it started with Nintendo first, and then PlayStation for so long. It's just crazy. Like I remember when Final Fantasy 15 came out, we were at least I don't know if I was working with you at GameStop, but I know we both worked at GameStop, and I remember there was a big discrepancy on the pre-orders from SKU to PlayStation. You know, for sure, it wasn't even a contest. So that would have been very interesting. But like I would have been fun. Like if it did come to pass and was like Microsoft buy Sega, I would be like, oh, okay. Cool. I mean, you would have probably. I mean, you'd be happy because you get all the personas. You would have got Persona way sooner than you did. You would have been a happy boy. It would have definitely helped. It would have expedited Microsoft's push to get the Eastern culture and Eastern games on the Xbox.
Yeah, which I think was their thought process with Sega.
And it's nice to see, you know, Phil's that strong push he's been directing for the last several years to get a lot more JRPGs on the Xbox's console. Because, you know, for the longest time, like I think the 360, you guys had like next to none.
Yeah.
That were like worth anything. I mean, you have Final Fantasy 13, but no one liked that. I think you had Last Star International or something. You might have had
Star Ocean.
That's what it is. Star Ocean, Last Hope. I think you might have had that. Yeah. And you had like your weird ones like Resonance of Fate and like just these weirder ones, right? But none of the big boys, you know, were really on your guys' console for the longest time. So it's nice to see.
We had one that one game, Lost Odyssey, that was made by former Square people.
Lost Odyssey, and you had an exclusive Tales game, which was interesting. Interesting. It's not exclusive anymore, but it was exclusive at the time.
Tales of Symphonia, I think.
Symphonia? I thought it was Graces. It doesn't matter.
Was it
we both know there was a Tales game on the Xbox that was only for Xbox 360. Not anymore, but it was at a time. I think them acquiring Sega would have just pushed that forward sooner. I mean, which I think would have been cool. And it would have been interesting to see what they would have done with, like, if Sega had the extra financial backing to make
Vesperia.
To do like like maybe they would have had better ideas for Sonic to make like even crazier Sonic games. I don't know. Who knows? Because you know most Sonic games that come out not been good. I mean the Sonic fans they love them, but like otherwise they're not good. You know, so that would have been interesting. So that was a cool revelation to hear, just to kind of think of like what would have happened. The next thing is, which was interesting. I don't know if it was Sony or Xbox that confirmed this, but basically. Sony's big budget AAA games cost upwards to $200 million when all is said and done, which like rivals movies, man. Like rivals the marketing budget for movies. Like
it makes sense on why they're so fucking good.
Like, yes, it's not like I'm like blown away because I was like, you look at the production value of like God of War, the 2018 God of War, right? Or Horizon, or Last of Us Part 2. You know, it's just like. Yeah, it makes sense, especially when they're allowed to be in development for as long as they are.
Oh yeah,
it's like of course, like when these games are in development for like 4 or 5 years at a time, it's like of course you're going to have these huge, and I don't know if that includes marketing or not.
Probably that's probably pre-marketing.
If it doesn't involve marketing, that is stupid.
Most of those figures are almost always before marketing,
which is stupid. I mean, ridiculous. I mean, but the games come out so polished and so good. You know, it is you can't even believe what you're looking at sometimes. Like when we played the God of War together way years ago, we played that together on the channel. you almost couldn't even. You were like, what the? You were like, this is peak. We can't top this. Like we cannot top this. And even for Horizon, for being an open world game, most open world games, they take some liberties and shortcuts on the graphics and all that stuff. Not Horizon. Like, it still looked very, very good for an open world game. And I haven't played Spider-Man, but you play Spider-Man. And like, there you go. You have Spider-Man. But I have played Ratchet and Clank, and Ratchet and Clank has always, at least as far as like the more stylized, cartoonish, animated realm, has always been like the cream of the crop for graphics and fidelity and detail and all that stuff. Yeah. So that was the next thing. Here was another bigger one. Jim Ryan, the boss of PlayStation, he has said in the email that he was actually not worried about the Starfield exclusivity. He thought, and to go on to also say that PlayStation was going to be like, quote, just fine without it. And I'm honestly, because like
that's fair.
Yeah, it is, because like I've said many times, like, I'm not butthurt about having Starfield on an Xbox only thing. Like, I'm personally not that upset about it.
Nah, even from a business standpoint, right? Like, what makes companies money? Starfield isn't gonna, like, it sucks and it would make PlayStation some amount of money, but the difference between Starfield and Call of Duty is like the difference between here and the moon.
Yeah.
Like, there's no comparison on how much money those two games individually make.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at just like even if you're being the most generous projections of what Starfield could make on both consoles, or if, I guess you just focus on Sony's, and what the player base might be on it, compare that to Call of Duty. Again, it is night and day. So I'm not surprised that he wasn't upset about it. Like, and I don't know. I mean, you can be like this guy and make a petition to see how many people actually are mad about. I mean, he's mad, but I mean, I don't know how many people overall, like, in the PlayStation ecosystem, because also it's like, okay, we lose on a Starfield, but like, we have so many other things that we can play in its place, whereas like, can the same thing be said about Xbox players, at least as far as like exclusives are concerned? Yeah. So anyways, there's a couple more points. It's funny, Xbox, so part of the reason why, yeah, were you reading something?
Sorry. I know you said they were shut down to research thing, but this is just made me laugh. Fallout 4 title generated $35 million in revenue on Steam.
Oh, okay.
And then and I know this isn't quite the same, but Modern Warfare 2 has generated $1.85 billion.
On all systems?
PlayStation format sold physical copies throughout the Core 2 columns delivered the opening quarter. I think that's just on PlayStation.
I'm not going to say that the number is probably also including microtransactions.
That's what I mean, though. That's why it makes so much more money. Well, yeah. I'm not even talking just in game sales, which it probably also not probably, it definitely also outdoes.
Probably, yeah, I'm sure it sold more than $35 million.
But that's what I think that PlayStation is worried about losing, is not even what the game sales.
It's not about Starfield. It's about Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is all about they were generating money, which is why Activision wants
this would never happen. But I think PlayStation would take the deal. If Microsoft offered them the deal, like, hey, we will sign guarantee contract law that we will allow you to have allow you to have Call of Duty, and all you have to do is give us the game revenue, like just from sold games, sold copies, and you can keep the microtransaction, they would sign that before the sentence stopped. Like, they'd just be like, yup, because that's where the money's made.
But Microsoft, Activision or Microsoft, whoever would write it, they would never write that. That's the problem, though. They would because of that exact same reason, they would never write that contract.
Yeah. And that's why the Game Pass is going to happen. I guarantee it's going to happen.
We're getting to the Game Pass comments, by the way. So is worried about, not worried about it. So anyways, the reason why why Activision was so quick to get on Activision, on Bethesda was because Bethesda was getting this relationship building with PlayStation. You know, like because Deathloop was exclusive for like 6 months or so on PS5 only. Ghostwire Tokyo, whatever, that was apparently also exclusive on PlayStation for a short time. And so because they were starting to notice this like cooperation going on, they were scared that Starfield would actually be exclusive to PlayStation. So to avoid a possibility of them not getting the console or the game at all, you know, limited or otherwise,
I'll just buy it.
So they were like, let's just buy the studio then.
Buy the studio because we have fuck off money.
Yeah,
that's
so
why.
That way we'll make sure Starfield comes on our system then. But yeah, that was actually, that's where it stemmed from. They were worried about not getting it, so they were like, well, the only one way to definitively solve this, buy the studio.
If
so,
you can't beat them,
buy them. So, an interesting thing that was said from both the CEO of Microsoft, Satya, and I think, was it also Bobby as well? I think Bobby Kotick from Activision. So they both shared some I guess dissentment, is that the word? Some negative feelings on exclusives in general. Just exclusives, just the idea of exclusive games. And I know they're not alone in that sentiment. A lot of people don't like the exclusives, partly because, you know, it breeds that, you know, that home field, that kind of home base mindset, that herd mentality, which is what, you know, was really rampant back in 360 PS3 days. And I'm sure, you know, it was also bad during the Nintendo Sega days from, you know, the 90s and everything. And so, I mean, a lot of people don't like that. They just want to just have your console, be fine with it. Don't, you know, put down others who don't have it. And, or people just don't, you know, they think that like, oh, games should be available for everybody. But as a business person, I have to disagree, because then it's like, what's the point of, you would only have one console, and that would basically have that person would have a monopoly on the market, and you don't want that. We need multiple consoles, and we need them to create games that are only for it, because that breeds competition and variety. That's just my opinion. But it was just interesting to hear their words on it. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I think my overall feeling on all of this is, I think that the Starfield exclusivity is kind of being overblown in the sense that, like, yeah, it sucks that Starfield is going to be an exclusive. If I had my say, like, in my opinion, I want it on both. I think that I want more people to play it. That being said, I think that exclusives are good in the fact that it does, like you said, like, they have to be bought in to the titles. Like, when we see PlayStation putting $200 million into their exclusives and they come out really good games, that's good for the gaming industry as a whole. The problem that Microsoft has had with their exclusives so far is just that they haven't done that end yet. Like, yeah. And yes, it you know, overall it does suck for gaming that Starfield is now an exclusive. But if they do that with Starfield, if it is, you know,
that polished game that we
game that we've wanted, it'll be good for the gaming industry.
Yeah,
I think you need both exclusives and shared platforms and shared games. You need them both.
Yeah, you need both
for different reasons.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not saying all games should only be exclusive, but each one of them has to have, like, you know, what do we bring to the table that only we can bring to the table. Like, they're not good for consumers, but they're good for the industry. And I'm thinking more forward thinking than just in the moment. And so that's why I will always disagree with that sentiment, just because you got to think of the bigger picture. And so, because I don't want a homogenized market, because then if all of a sudden Sony's internal studios start putting out $20 million or even $10 million on their games, they're going to be what you think they're going to be, which is okay at best, you know, or we're going to get these mediocre titles right, you know, after the other, and I don't want that. Anyways, but the big thing was that Bobby said he also didn't like it, but that's because he's always been multi-platform. They've always been multi-platform, and he actually wouldn't want it. He also would not want to lose the PlayStation audience, because he was like, all of a sudden now, Activision, we lose for Call of Duty, like, that player base now loses like 500 million people or whatever the fuck you say, some giant million people. And it's like, even though some of them, they're on mobile, a lot of them are going to be on PlayStation. And so like to lose all of those players and all that potential money, it's like nah, son, I ain't about that life.
and once again, 5D Chess David here.
God damn it, here he comes.
I 100% believe that if this deal goes through, that Call of Duty will be on PlayStation, with the caveat of they're not doing it like we said before. They're not doing this for no reason. They're not doing it just to own the shiny, game. What they will do is they will say, yes, Call of Duty will still be on PlayStation if you allow Game Pass to be on PlayStation. And they'll work out some kind of royalties deal. That is how I think that Microsoft intends to keep to their word of Call of Duty. Now, they can't guarantee it because they have to make that deal with PlayStation. I think they'll hold that carrot above their face of like, hey, yeah, it'll stay exclusive, but Game Pass has to be allowed on PlayStation, and you have to give us some kind of deal.
Well,
and if they say no, then they'll be like, boom, exclusivity.
It's funny you say that.
For like a year.
It's funny you say that because both PlayStation's boss, Jim Ryan, and Bobby Kotick of Activision don't think Game Pass is profitable or a good business strategy.
I don't think it is yet. I don't think it is yet because I think, like I said from the very beginning, their plan is to get it on everything. And then once they do that, it'll be profitable.
Man, but it's already been out for like, what, 4 years, 5 years? And it's still not profitable?
That's why Microsoft is worth $13 trillion. They got some money to burn.
Well, Activision doesn't like that. They said to themselves that they did not feel it was, like, he did not want Call of Duty on a service platform like that because they lose out on money for that. That's how they view it. Because
I don't see how, because we were just talking about how the money maker is the microtransactions, not the units sold.
Possibly, but he didn't elaborate too far, but that's just how he felt. Now, of course, PlayStation's going to think it's not viable. I mean, I'm not even surprised that he said that. Like, of course he's going to say that. If anyone was going to say it, it's them. So he said it wasn't profitable, but I mean, he could be looking at this, he could be speaking factually, numbers-wise. Like, it's just not profitable. And if it's not, then okay. I mean, we've talked about it, for depending on what developers we're talking about, it could or could not be profitable. And even if you get more eyes on something, that doesn't necessarily mean you're making more money. Like, for instance, you talk about advertising in general. Like, my job, I'm in charge of our paid advertising on Google, right? Just because I get a lot of impressions on the ad, it doesn't mean that I made a lot of money for the company. It doesn't mean that at all. And even if people click on it, or in this case, play the game, that doesn't mean they got revenue. So it's way more nuanced. Some company like Obsidian will say it was great. You have some smaller devs that will say otherwise it would have never made any money. But you have others that say it was on there, but it made no money. And then I haven't heard much from Team Ninja, but there's been this ongoing debate about the fact that it was on, Wolong was on Game Pass day one, and it's been affecting a lot of the player base, a lot of feedback, just because of it's now being open to so many people who otherwise would have played it. But it might have brought in the wrong people, who should have never been playing this, but they're still gonna feel like they need to say something online about the game and give shit about it or whatever have you. You should have just never been playing it, but because it was on Game Pass and they saw it, oh man, we're gonna try it. Otherwise, if it wasn't on Game Pass, they would have never played it in the first place. But anyways,
people who would download Crusaders Kings, and have no idea what Crusaders Kings was, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah,
shit?
If I was all what's Crusaders Kings? I was like, I'll drink, and they'd be like, "What the fuck?" Because that's not my type of game.
I want to swing a sword.
I just wanted to play a medieval hack and slash. What is this? Micromanagement? Fuck this game. I'm going online to talk about it. So
did I just marry my 12-year-old daughter off to an 80-year-old? What the fuck just happened?
This misogynistic. It is terrible. This goes against my values. No, fuck this game. So otherwise, if it had just been on, just not on Game Pass, the people who would have played it are the people who they wanted to play it. And only them. I mean, yes, you do widen your scope, but you always have to be careful about whiting it out to the people who you actually don't want to see it. And that's like an advertising issue. That's a marketing problem across all industries, even mine. Like, we have to make sure, like, we don't, I mean, yeah, we want to broaden our scope, but if it's only bringing in people who have no business doing business with us, then it's like it was a bit of a failed experiment because we didn't bring in who we wanted to. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter how many clicks you get if you're not. Yeah, if it's the follow through isn't there.
If all the clicks are from people who are in college, that doesn't help me. That doesn't help me at all. Yeah. Like, so it's like it was the same thing with games. Like, yeah, it's on Game Pass. It's available to all Game Pass owners, but like, it could be attracted to people, or you could be attracting people who you don't want to attract, and then you have issues. So that was interesting to hear about. I mean, more so from Bobby's point of view rather than Sony's point of view about his feelings on Game Pass. And so,
well, I think why Bobby's worried about it is that he knows if Microsoft buys them, then he doesn't have a choice. It's not going to be a choice whether they're on Game Pass. They will be on Game Pass. And I don't think anyone who's had as much success as Activision has had wants that control taken from them.
So then it's like, why would you put yourself up for sale?
Because money.
But they're afraid of losing money if they're bought out and having to lose the PlayStation player base.
But but at the same time, money. It's still a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but also a lot of money they're losing. So it's like
maybe
it's
back. I don't think so.
They're losing some, gaining some, but it's yet to be determined whether that comes out positive or negative. Yeah. So because it's like
I think he's just worried about losing control.
What we don't know is who from what console is bringing in most of those microtransaction money. Are they more Xbox owners? Are they PlayStation owners?
I would say PlayStation.
I maybe say Sony too. I don't know, but
if I had to bet, I would say PlayStation just because of Sony's market share.
And if it is PlayStation, well, yeah, bigger player base. So they lose. Like, they're getting more money, but like if the player base is so much smaller than what they were used to, it may not make up the difference.
True, but I don't.
And then also control. Yes, I'm not going to disagree with that, but I'm trying to think of. I'm doing my own 4D chess business moves here, my 4D business moves. So it's just, I mean, like, if you have 20 million, if you have like 200 million people, and that shrinks down to 40 million, those 40 million really have to start buying some shit to make up the money they're now losing. So that's even if it is on Game Pass.
It's not. It's gonna be on Game Pass. It's gonna be on the PlayStation. It's gonna be on the PlayStation through Game Pass.
Okay, your PlayStation thing is like
I fucking guarantee.
That's like you're talking like you're like a spaceship Martian, another comic zone. That's how far you're thinking. Okay, like
I fucking guarantee.
You're out of control. I might go with you on the Activision and Call of Duty on Game Pass, which they don't want, but I can see that. But if I turn on my PlayStation 5 one day and I see the Xbox Game Pass app, I'm going to lose my shit.
Play, bro.
All right, guys. Well, that's the end of this one. I think it went longer than normal. I don't have a recording number. Oh yeah, I do. All right, 20 minutes. Yeah, it was a little longer than normal, but that's because we took so long with that petition, which was just a work of art. Just the biggest work of art you've ever. Like, I'm not gonna put a description. Just go to change.org. It doesn't. You don't need to read it for yourself, but it is amazing.
We did,
and we needed to talk. I needed to go over with David so we can have a good laugh because it was hilarious. Don't forget, kids, Bethesda games run better on PlayStation. Don't you ever forget that. 90% sure that they will sell better and run better on PlayStation. Don't worry about the citation needed. Don't worry about that. Well, guys, we'll see you on the next one.
See you guys.
Take care. Goodbye, everybody.